Excuse me, Mr. Speaker, speaking to the resolution.
The gentleman has the floor.
And Mr. Speaker, I'll preface my remarks by noting that there is nobody more acutely aware that it's late on a Friday than those of us who observe our Sabbath at sundown on Friday, and that is why addressing this particular resolution has some import, not only to me and some members of this body, but to many people throughout the Commonwealth. Mr. Speaker, ladies and gentlemen, please don't support this resolution. Part of our greatness as a Commonwealth and as a country is the fact that each individual is free to believe and worship and pray, or not to pray, according to the dictates of his or her conscience, without the government using its power to prop up one religion over another. Now, I have great respect for the gentleman from Danville, and my guess is that he brought this before us because a majority of his constituents think it's a good idea to have the government endorse prayer in public schools and to have the government endorse prayer in government meetings. But that's precisely the point. The very purpose of the Bill of Rights, which this resolution proposes to amend, is to protect the liberty of the minority against the tyranny of the majority. That's why George Mason, author of the Virginia Bill of Rights, refused to sign the Constitution until it too included a Bill of Rights. Thomas Jefferson, in arguing that the Constitution was incomplete without a Bill of Rights, called it, quote, a sacred principle that the minority possess their equal rights, which equal law must protect, and to violate would be oppression. Those were his words. Now, the majority calling for this resolution can't understand what it means to be a religious minority. The resolution before us, it is before us because they claim that somehow the words of the First Amendment are not enough to ensure that they can invoke the name of Jesus on public property. Yet every week in this chamber, this most public of public property, and again today, our session opens with prayers that invoke Jesus' name. You may not notice, because when you're in the majority, it's easy not to. But when you're the one being excluded, when you're part of the religious minority that Thomas Jefferson and George Mason and so many of our founders sought to protect, it's hard to miss it. In any case, in this chamber, we're all adults. And over my 37 years on this earth, I've grown strong enough in my faith and knowledge and pride as a Jew that nothing that happens here could ever diminish it. But another important part of this resolution is we're talking about children. It's about saying that it's okay for my Jewish son to sit in a class or at an assembly, choosing between the pressure of silent exclusion or pressured acquiescence from government teachers or classmates in the face of prayer to somebody else's God. What if it was your daughter sitting there facing a teacher and surrounded by classmates wondering why she won't just play along? What if instead of praying to the name of Jesus, the teacher or student offering the so-called voluntary prayer proclaimed, "There is no God but Allah and Muhammad is his prophet"? These may be concerns you can never understand unless you've lived them, but these are the challenges that face every Jewish parent, and I dare say every parent of every minority religion, in ways my friends in the religious majority can never understand. We are forced to struggle to raise strong children who are proud of who they are, and all we ask is that our government not make that struggle harder, as the actions proposed by this resolution would do. Virginians are truly, truly blessed as Christians, Jews, Muslims, and others to live in a country and a commonwealth where all of us are, in the words of our Virginia Constitution, equally entitled to the free exercise of religion according to the dictates of conscience. That has been the case here for more than 200 years, and it remains so today. We are not like any other legislature in America. Here in Virginia, we carry the weight of history on our shoulders. We are the ones who first enshrined the statute of religious freedom into law, setting the example for America, and in doing that, setting an example for all mankind. While I have great respect for the gentleman from Danville, his resolution would have us fly in the face of that proud history by endorsing a policy that lets government elevate one religion over others. That's not who we are. That's not who we should be. And I urge you to please vote no. Thank you.